Hello again, children. So yesterday we were practicing using the grid method for multiplication. Today we're going to use that grid method and move on one more step. So before we get started, let's practice our multiplication. You're going to need a pencil and some paper. So if you haven't got one, pause the video and go and get one. And now you're going to have a go at calculating facts from known facts. So if I know that 6 times 6 is 36, I know that 6 times 60 is 10 bigger because I've got my second number 10 bigger than my first. So if I know that 6 times 6 is 36, I know that 6 times 60 is 360. Have a little go. Pause the video, have a go, and we'll go through the answers in a moment. Okay, so you've had a go at that. So let's work out what our answers ought to have been. Okay, so 6 times 6 is 60, 36. So 6 times 60, 10 times bigger, is 360. 12 times 8 is 96. So 12 times 80 is 10 times bigger because we've got 10 times bigger here. 32 times 3 is 96. So 32 times 30 is 10 times bigger. It's 960, and so on. I hope you got those. So you can see that I have started to use my grid method to multiply 46 and 25. I've just got the adding up part to do. So can you complete my adding up part and answer my question? 46 times 25. Pause the video and have a go. So you should have been able to say that it was 1,150. And the adding up should have looked like this. So 800 and 120 is 920. And I've got 230 there. 230. So when I added them together, I got 1,150. Well done if you got that. Now, you can see here that I have already started to fill in my boxes for 53 times 27. 53 times 27. You just have to do again the adding up part that will give me my answer to my question. So pause the video and have a little go. Fabulous. Hopefully the adding up part looked like this, didn't it? 1,060, well, it's a bit tricky. I'm going to write that again a bit more neatly. It's a bit hard to write with the mouse. 60. And when I add these together, it gives me 371. So when I combine these, I've got 1,431. Now, another way of recording that is to do it like this. And you can see that I've got my original numbers here, and you can see I've got 53 times 7, which is this row here, and I've got 53 times 20, which is this row here. And you can see that I've got my 371 there, and I've got my 1,060 there. Now, the reason why we do it this way round is when we do a calculation, we always start here. When we do a multiplying calculation, we always start here. So that's why these numbers have been swapped over, if you will. We always start with the first digit. So let's have a look at this one. Our first job is to have a go at completing this part. and then to record it as a more formal long multiplication like this one was, to record it as a more formal long multiplication. So I'm going to ask you to pause the video, complete the grid method first, and then have a go at recording it as a long multiplication, and we'll do it together in a moment. Okay, so let's look at this one here. It says 20 times 30. So I know that 20 times 30 is 600. 2 times 30 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 30 is 60. And 20 times 30 is 600. And 4 times 20 is 80. And I know that 6 times 3 is 18. So 6 times 30 is 180. And I know that 6 times 4 is 24. So here I've got 680. And here I'm going to recombine these, which will give me 204. When I add them together, I'll have 488. So my answer should be 884. Just check that. Yeah, 204 there, I'm at 80, good. So to write it as a long multiplication, a formal multiplication, it's going to look like this. I've put my original numbers in, and I'm going to do this line here to make an equals sign. So I'm going to start with this box here. I'm going to multiply by 6 first. So I'm going to say 4 times 6 is 24. 30 times 6, 3 times 6 is 18, and 2 more is 20. You can see that's this number here. And then I'm going to multiply by this 20 here. Now, the way we do this when we're doing a long multiplication is, I'm going to write that in to remind us that's what we did. So that one was 34 multiplied by 6. And now I'm going to do 34 multiplied by 20. And that's this row here, multiplied by 20, that's this row here. So when we're doing it in this formal way, I think about this 0, and I'm going to put a 0 in that space there. When I'm multiplying by my tens, I'm always going to put a 0 in that space. And the reason why I'm doing that is everything else will be 10 times bigger. Remember, we made everything 10 times bigger by putting a 0 in the ones place and shuffling the digits across. So for here, I'm going to put a 0 in here, and everything else now will be 10 times bigger. So 2 times 4 is 8. And you can see already I've got my 80 here. Can you see which is my 80 here? And then 2 times 3 is 6. And I've got my 6 in here. It's in the hundreds place. That's my 600. And it's this combined number here. And then our job is to add the digits up. And the answer is 884. Have another go at this one. Remember, do it as a grid method first, then try it as a long multiplication method. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so let's get our digits in here to help out. So I'm going to have 50 in there and 2. I'll partition my 52. I'm going to squeeze my 20 and my 3 in here. Okay, so 20 times 50 I know is 1,000. And 2 times 20 is 40. And 3 times 50 is 150. And And 3 times 2 is 5. So I'm going to combine that to 1040. And this one is 155. I add them up, that's a 0 there. I've got 5, 4 and 5 is 9, 0 and 1 is 1, 1 and 0 is 1. So my answer is 1195. So let's record it using our long multiplication method. So I'll put a 52 in there and multiply by 23. And then I'm going to move that one up there. And I'll just pop in another one for our equal sign down here. Okay, so this row is 52. Remember, I start with the 3 with the units place, multiply by 3. And this row is 52 multiplied by 20. And it's that 0, isn't it, that we really need to think about. The 20, that 0 is the one we really need to think about. Okay, so starting with multiplying by 3. 2 times 3 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. That's my 150. And that's my number here, look. That's my 5. There's my 150. And then, before I do anything else, I'm going to put my placeholder in because I'm multiplying by a 10. So 2 times 2 is 4. And already, look, I've got my 40, which is my 40 from here. And 5 times 2 is 10, which is my 1000 from here. And when I add them up, my answer is the same, 1195. Okay, so I've got for you a little memory aid to help us with our calculation. If we combine these, we're going to have a 2 in here, 9 and 3 is 12, and that's 3, so my answer is 322. But I'm showing you this memory aid because for the next few calculations, I'm always going to have that memory aid available for you to help you. I said I'm always going to have it and I've missed it off once, so let's just copy that onto this page to help you. So it's always going to be there in the corner, look, to help you with the method. So for each of these, you're going to pause the video, have a go, and then I'll reveal the answers for you. Okay, so you're going to pause the video and have a go. Here's the first one. Okay, so you had a go, and that was 46 times 7. And that was 46 times 20. And we recombine them. That's our answer. Right, so on your piece of paper with your pencil, you're going to have a go at using that long multiplication method to help you with these 3 calculations. Pause the video and I'll show you the answers in a moment. Okay, so here's the first one. Whoops. Here's the second one. And here's the last one. How did you get on? And here are 3 more to practice. So again, pause the video. The method's up there in the corner to help you. Have a go at these 3. Okay, let's see how you got on with these 3. And if you did get them, brilliant. And if you didn't, just pop back and look at your calculations and see if you can find the place where you might have gone wrong. And now we're just going to have a little practice. So pause the video and have a go at the first two. Remember, you've always got an example up here to help you. Have a go at the first two, and then we'll do the next one afterwards. Okay, so for this one here, it was a recombine, wasn't it? I just wonder if I've got them. No, it was a recombine. So that's 9, and that's 5, and that's 5. And for this one here, we had to use these numbers to help us. We know that the original number was 21, and it was being multiplied by 25. And so our answer was 525. Okay, here's one more. I'm just going to pull down this example to help you again. Okay, fill in the missing gaps. So copy this down and fill in the missing gaps. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so I'm going to make a slightly smaller pencil this time. Let's have a go. So I know it's 21. 21. And my first lot of 21 is multiplied by 6. And I've got 21 again, and I've multiplied it by 10. And so when I recombine, my answer is 336. Okay, this is the last activity for today, and it's a working out where if Mo has made a mistake. It says Mo is calculating 34 times 23, and here's what he did. What mistake has Mo made? What is the correct answer? And you could use your own grid method to help you with this, or you could try using a long multiplication to help you. Pause the video and have a go. Well, for me, I think before I get started, I might try having a go at this calculation. So it's 34 multiplied by 23. So I know I'm going to have to do 34 times 3. That's my first one. And my next one is 34 times 20. Okay, so 4 times 3 is 12. So Mo's right there, isn't he? 3 times 3 is 9, another one is 10. So that row for Mo was correct. Now I know I've got to put my 0 in. I think I spotted this mistake. 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 2 is 6. And you see the mistake that he's made. He hasn't multiplied by 20. He's only multiplied by 2. So really well done if you got that. Now the question says, what is the correct answer? So let's continue to get the correct answer. Okay, so the correct answer was 782. Mo was a long way off the correct answer. So well done today, children. Tomorrow, we're going to have a little bit more practice with long multiplication.